This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
And guess what I didn't get around to doing today? Creating a new intro that includes our friend Max Arraj. But we got the trio together tonight for a Friday night. Yeah, I'll probably forget about it then too. I'll be like, man, what should I do right now? I got all this free time. And I won't be able to remember any of the things that I need to do in that moment. But welcome to ADHD, right? But this is the Friday night edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. We got the trio together, and we got Connor Worrell popping in shortly to talk a little soccer with us. Not much to talk about tonight, guys. We got what we kind of needed, I think, which was a rainy day, a light slate, an opportunity to sit on the couch and watch basketball tonight. And then, we can come in and kind of have a freewheeling night to talk about some things that probably would have otherwise slipped through the cracks if we had a normal busy Friday night. So, we'll make the best of it, and it'll be a good time. But a couple of things just to kind of run down what I'll be talking about tonight. We had a signing day at Beaufort High today. I wasn't able to get over there, but it was a good day. NCAA Championship Wrestling. No, I haven't really been tuned into it, honestly. I love wrestling, but I love people I know wrestling mostly. Signing day at Beaufort High. Adrian Lamb, football player, going to Georgia Military College. So going the JUCO route, and we'll see where he can go from there. He's got Division I caliber talent, no question. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a question of getting seen at the right place. And I don't know what the academics look like, but JUCO is a great place to kind of just reset the clock a little bit and put the focus on the athletic ability and environment where people can see you and see what you can become. So I think Adrian's got
night on the court. Nick Pringle.
Oh, he threw one down. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, man.
He's been in foul trouble all night.
Just had to pop the name in there since you mentioned JUCO.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, definitely that was exactly the kind of guy I'm thinking of. Is he and Ryle Owens both went the JUCO route, and Ryle's playing professionally overseas, and I think that's probably in Nick's future at some point. Probably not NBA, but you never know. But I think professional basketball's in his future. But Adrian Lamb, I think he's the story's yet to be written on him. Georgia Military will give him an opportunity to get seen and get on somewhere else. Jarrell DePass signed in to play football at Limestone, where, remembering a dude, you guys might be too young for him, but he was a mainstay on my fantasy teams for years. The head coach at Limestone now is Jericho Cotchery, wide receiver for the Jets. Jets legend, Jericho Cotchery.
He should have gotten the catch in the Super Bowl 50, where he looked like he caught the ball, and the officials ruled it an incomplete pass. And that really turned the tide of that Super Bowl when Panthers made it against the Denver Broncos.
Oh, that's why you remember that so well.
He was a reliable. He was such a great addition to that team in 2015 when Panthers had that run to the Super Bowl in that season. But Cotchery was one of my favorites in that team. I just remember that last play, unfortunately, but really outstanding receiver.
He was really reliable, except that one time when he wasn't a huge spot.
Unfortunately, that's how it's remembered sometimes, especially for kickers.
That's right. Oh, amen. Speaking of kickers, more just random news at the top, because that's what we're doing tonight, I guess. Trevor Weldon, the leg of the Lowco, I saw that he tweeted that he got a scholarship offer from South Carolina State. He was in the portal, didn't work out at Miami. He wasn't in the mix there, and he decided he wasn't done playing. He wanted to see what was out there, and South Carolina State coming through. So we may have another Lowco guy at SC State before it's all said and done, but we'll see what else shakes out for him. And then Dom Camacho signing to play baseball at Ferrum College up in Virginia, which I believe is where Lou Kent was the head coach before he came down here. So interesting there. Signing days also at Hampton County, 2 in a row. Kadeja Smoke, track and field at Allen. Zakila Henderson, track and field at Columbia College. She's also on the soccer team that's playing really well right now, I believe. Makai Davis, track and field at Marshall. Thundering Herd D1 program there. I'm excited for that dude. He's great athlete. And Cody Seeger's football at Greensboro College. And I know we both loved him, Wes, but you definitely, like, he's your dude. Like, you ride it. He's your ride or die. You love Cody Seegers.
He was my guy this year for sure.
Yeah, man. So that's some good stuff. We'll also a little later revisit the Bluffton premature strikeout situation. I have some intel that I will share with you on that. I think we have an explanation, and it's probably what was the most obvious one. But now we know more about what was or wasn't said before the pitch about the count and stuff. So tease. And we'll look back at some wild scores from last night, since we don't have many to talk about tonight. Because I tracked down some a little bit later today that didn't even make it in last night in the Lowco that I was like, whoa. So I want to have some fun with some stats and numbers. But we promised, and he's been waiting backstage for us for a little while now. So Connor Worrell was out at really the only match in town tonight, which was May River Hilton Head Prep Boys. We knew it wasn't really going to be terribly competitive, most likely, but Connor ventured out there nonetheless. So he joins us now to tell about a rainy night in the tank and rough night for Hilton Head Prep. They got the big win last night. The streak was 1, but now it's back 1 in the other direction after 10-0, and sounded like May River just asserted themselves early and used the opportunity to get some guys some playing time and just kept it on.
Yeah, absolutely. I went out to that game, decided I'd go to it today. Didn't have anything better to do. Got there when it wasn't like raining, it was sprinkling, but as soon as the game started, I mean, it just started coming down. I made my way up to the pod and took a look, really my first look at both teams. I'd never seen either team play. I was mostly excited to see May River with that May River Bluffton game coming up on Tuesday, which I'm super excited for. But yeah, from early on, you could tell from the warm-ups, May River were really ready for that game, but you could tell both teams were kind of annoyed about the rain from the beginning. But May River just got out really quick. I think they went up 2-0. It was 2-0 within 8 minutes or something like that, and started putting some of their JV guys to get some minutes for them. So that was good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You mentioned the Derby coming up on Tuesday, and you've now seen both those teams. And I mean, you've seen Bluffton against a little stiffer competition, so I think it's probably hard to get a real good read on it. But do they look like, just in the eye test, it should be pretty competitive, could go either way?
Absolutely, yeah. I texted Coach Fox today, and I was making sure. So we know Josue had that red card against James Island, so he will not be available for that game. And Dorian Funes? He had the head injury in the game, but Coach Fox is confident that he will be available for that game for selection.
Look at you doing your reporting. I love it.
Yep. Yeah, but it is going to be a huge miss from Josue, one of their captains.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah. Them's the breaks in the soccer, right? You think anybody has an edge there, or are you too soon to tell? Could go either way.
It's hard to tell
because it's like, I mean, it just depends on so many small things, right? Like if it's an evenly matched game.
Going into it, it's hard to tell. I think if Bluffton had everybody like Josue available, I think they do have the edges, considering they have home field as well. You know, the fans will be pumped to have that great atmosphere once again. I think it'll be closer since they wouldn't have Josue. It's really going to be a midfield battle. For the moments that I saw May River playing, one of their main captains, he played for like maybe 10 minutes the game, but I think he was number 6 or something like that. I didn't really see too much, but he was in the midfield.
You had an obscured view in the press box with the rainy windows. So, fair enough.
But I think going into the game, I'd have to edge Bluffton's way so far just from what I've seen, but maybe May River will shock me.
Right on. Jacob Banderos is a captain, number 2. He's got a couple caps with the what was it, Bermuda national team? Is that what it was? And then Alonzo Pena, number 3, is a midfielder as well, who is captain. And number 4, Philippe Falus. I believe he goes by Fifi. He's the fullback. He's a captain as well. So probably one of those guys. But anyway, Wes. Go ahead, Wes.
I mean, just previewing more about Tuesday's match. I mean, what are you thinking about is going to be the major factor? What could decide it in such a tight game between a team that's been there for a while and a team that's on the up and coming now with Josh Fox as head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like going into that game, it's going to be all about just staying proper is a word that you could use. Both teams are very, very smart. Both teams love to build it out from the back, very tactical. So I think it's whoever's going to be more patient in that game. I'm not expecting a ton of goals in that game. So I think it's whoever stays most patient and just takes the opportunities that they're given once they're in on goal.
Yeah. Pounces on that opportunity, because a lot of times in a game like that, it'll come like this goal will come on a counter because somebody tries to force something. So I kind of get where you're coming from there. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Wes, you tried to check out soccer, but this is what you got.
Yeah.
Rain came.
That's prep too. That's at prep, right?
Yeah.
They
have the worst. They have the worst.
Playing where the fields were soaked. Then they had a little fun out there.
Dude, when it rains just a little bit. Yeah, when it rains just a little bit on that field, there's no way. Their drainage system is just not there. So it just sits there.
Well, I mean, it's a swamp. It's built on a swamp. So, what are you gonna do?
I remember going over there after. After Hurricane Matthew hit, we went over to prep to see if they needed any help, like putting some classrooms back together. If there are any things that had been damaged or anything after the hurricane and stuff. And we go over to check on the field, and it's like sitting like 3 feet deep in water. It's just like there's no field left. So I mean, even with just a little bit of rain, dude, it can be a problem over on that field.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw the benefit of the turf field tonight of just being able to play for the guys. That's definitely nice, and not tear up your field. But it's also kind of wild to watch soccer in the rain on a turf field because it's hard to play in those conditions for sure. Slippery.
It's great for celebrations.
It is.
Unless you scrape your knees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Well, luckily the turf down here isn't like the little black pebbles. Those ones really hurt when you do knee slides.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, speaking of cellies, your video of the Bobcats celly the other night is doing big numbers, almost to 6,000 views. Good stuff.
Keep it going, yeah.
Dang.
Check it out on IG. Share it out there. Get Connor some numbers. But no, you feel like those are the two best guys teams you've seen in the area, May River and Bluffton?
And yeah, I think so far. The James Island,
everybody obviously, but
the James Island Bluffton game, I mean, Bluffton showed so much class in that game, especially with that red card. Just really stayed defensively sound that game. I was very impressed because you could really tell in overtime. I mean, they did not have much of the ball at all, Bluffton. So they were the balls were just being launched in the box over and over and over again, and just winning those aerial duels. So see what they can do on Tuesday.
They've got some grit to them. All right, man. Well, let's shout out some sponsors, and then we'll talk a little hoops because we got Pringles game wrapping up. They just went over 100 with 4 minutes left. Holy cow!
Okay.
And we'll get an update on your. We'll get an update on your brackets, Connor, and your thoughts on the tournament. Because I mean, what else are we going to talk about tonight, right? So, the MVP sponsors of LowcoSports start with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She's with the Anchor Home Group of Keller Williams, the Lowcountry, and she'd love to help you find your place in the Lowco and put down an anchor in the best place. That's Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. And Homegrown Home Inspections is the official home inspector of LowcoSports. And Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the biz when it comes to making sure you're making a great investment in the real estate market. So have Homegrown Home Inspections check out that new home before you make the purchase. They're the official home inspectors. Mickelson Law Firm, our official real estate closing attorneys and the original sponsors since 2017 of LowcoSports. They're our presenting sponsor of our HHCA coverage, and we appreciate everything that Ryan and Tiffany have done to support local sports and LowcoSports. And Hospice Care, the Lowcountry official hospice provider of LowcoSports and the only not-for-profit hospice provider in Southern Beaufort County, and the official nonprofit of the year from the Bluffton Chamber of Commerce. So congratulations to the folks over at Hospice Care, the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. And you can support them by going to the Yacht Hop, biggest party of the year. I mean, maybe Heritage was standing, but biggest one-day party of the year. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, sure.
Over at Wexford, they got like 70 tickets left, I heard. So you better get on it. May 18th at Wexford. Get her done. Hospitality of the Lowcountry. Those are our MVP sponsors. Let's talk a little madness, boys. Alabama and Nick Pringle now up 104-78 on Charleston. So sorry about it, Cougs. Pringle was in foul trouble most of the night. He got in foul trouble early and then stayed in foul trouble. But when he was in there, as he often does, he made a couple highlight reel plays, including that dunk that I sent you guys. Where
dude,
he
was crazy. That was nuts.
Yeah, that was fun.
Just crazy. Yeah,
I was just glad to see. I was glad to see he made it because he wasn't on the team playing initially, and it was a personal issue, I guess. But I was just glad that didn't transpire. But how your brackets looking? Mine's trashed.
Oh yeah.
Mine's trashed too.
That's true.
Don't worry. Yeah, I've already gotten how many picks wrong so far in this first round? One.
Actually, I will say mine's not like trash, but like all my upset picks I took a flyer on are all they're all folding like.
Yeah, I apologize for Clemson fans because I
was all over New Mexico. Yeah, they were favored in Vegas. New Mexico was favored in Vegas, and Clemson.
I know. And Clemson. Oh yeah, I watched that game because I'm a big Clemson fan. For those
they destroyed them.
I was there, was rocking. So now they got to play Baylor, which I think if they play if they play like they did against New Mexico, I think that's going to be a really good game.
Defensively, that's the thing. Like if they play that way defensively, they're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out. Connor, you're an IU guy, right? So you're with me. Mizzou
yeah, we don't have to talk about IU.
Mizzou and IU don't have to worry about it this year.
Yeah.
So I was rooting against Kansas, which means you're probably rooting against Purdue.
It's difficult. I have friends that go to Purdue and family and stuff. But like,
we know who he's rooting against. Iowa State. It's Iowa State that he's rooting against, bro.
No, it's Kentucky. So I was very excited.
Gone.
Yeah, but Kentucky lost. They're gone, bro.
Trust me, I was running around the house celebrating.
Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude is the syrup of March.
I was so surprised by that game. I was like, whoa, dude, Oakland's coming out shooting, bro. Wow.
I'm never surprised. There's some teams that I'm never surprised win or lose in the first round, and Kentucky's one of them.
Kentucky has really struggled these last few seasons, and I think there's some fans are starting to panic on Calipari based on how these last few tournament runs have gone. And,
Oh, Twitter was in full meltdown last night.
Yeah.
The last 4 seasons are like 1-3 in the first round or something.
He's not going anywhere. Sorry.
I saw a great meme though where Patino and Calipari were standing together, and it said it had Patino saying, "I'll coach, you recruit." That would be a great pair. It'd end up under RICO investigation or something, but they'd have a great team until the posse came.
I think one of the things is like some of these mid-major programs, a lot of these players can be upperclassmen, so they have more experience over teams like Kentucky that are full of freshmen and stuff like that. And I think that experience can outperform a talented athletic freshman team. Yeah, sure, but when you have a much more older upperclassmen team, I think that experience can outweigh, the talent.
I think another underrated thing, and maybe it's part of why I love this tournament so much, like since forever, but it's like the ultimate underdog event because, like, I mean, obviously anybody can beat anybody, but the thing that I think kind of levels the playing field a little bit is the emotional element of it that you kind of touched on there, where you got some of these mid majors where most of these guys know, like, if they're a senior, this is the last game they're ever playing.
Yep.
And even if they're not a senior, it's probably the last NCAA tournament game they're ever playing.
I also love
they make it back the next year are not that likely. And so like they are playing for everything. Whereas some of these guys are like, oh, we're losing at halftime. I'm going to the NBA next year anyway.
Yeah. No, there's something special about the 4-year players who stay and try to build a program. You see it a lot more at mid-majors and just, some of these other smaller schools. And, you see how much it means to them to continue to improve a team for a 4-year span and see the fruits of their labor. And I just love that aspect of it. And you have the one and done guys, and sometimes you see some great things from them. And but occasionally, and actually more times than you think, it kind of flames out, and you get these. It's always scary to see a team who has had that connection between each other for years, and just plays for each other, and it's hard to replicate that kind of 4-year kind of program. And when it really gets going, and they believe in each other, and just have that house money mentality sometimes, like it's us against the world, and we're trying to prove something to our school and our conference. It can be something special, and those are kind of things that we really love about this tournament, and just all the underdog stories, the upsets, and the unpredictability. Last time I checked, there were 10 perfect brackets remain on the ESPN Tournament Challenge. I haven't
after Yale. Was that after Yale?
I believe that was after Yale upset Auburn. There were 10 perfect brackets remaining.
Who called Yale to upset Auburn?
My sister.
I mean, I toyed with it.
Really?
I toyed with it. Yeah. Wow. Bruce Pearl's Auburn's another one of those. There's certain teams that I'm not surprised if they win in the first round. I'm not surprised if they go to the Final Four, and I'm not surprised if they lose in the first round.
Well, my dad
Kentucky,
had Auburn going all
Kansas, Auburn, like they all fit the bill, and you never know what to do with them in the bracket. Never trust them. I don't trust Baylor either. Like,
I mean, that's why I think Clemson is so dangerous, because if you look at their team, it's not all freshmen. They have a few seniors that are on the starting lineup for that team.
I think they're dangerous because when they're locked in, they play exceptional defense, and that's the great equalizer, man.
I mean, they've beaten teams that are in this tournament this year.
Basking in the glow of that Dayton Flyers 17-point comeback.
Yeah.
Do you think they have a chance against the Arizona Wildcats tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. I think they do. I mean, they got Deron.
I never trust
Deron Holmes, bro. Dude, Deron Holmes is really good, and his supporting cast is really good too. I mean, Deron Holmes was named second-team All-American or something like that this year. So he's no joke. And then you got a good supporting cast as well with a great head coach. So I think, if Deron Holmes can play like I know he can play, I think that Dayton Flyers team can beat Arizona. And I picked them to beat Arizona too. So I hope he can get the job done.
Homer.
Oh yeah, of course I did. I think Dayton's I think Dayton's one of those teams where I'm like, if they can play at the top of their game, they can beat just about anyone. I think they're one of those top mid-major programs that you can find.
Agree. But I agree. I think that's a dangerous game for Arizona. Connor, who you got? You still got your Final Four intact?
Oh geez. The only people that I really know.
I think I got my whole Elite Eight.
I have Houston
intact,
and
but I've lost
UConn.
a ton of first-round matchups.
I have Houston and UConn in the championship.
Yeah.
So I have Houston winning it all. So
okay. I got UConn over Houston, and I got Creighton and UNC reluctantly.
Yeah, I think UConn is very favorable region now after Auburn went down, because that was kind of the anticipated game in the Sweet 16. You still have Iowa State, Illinois.
Yeah.
But I think Auburn was really the scariest.
I had zero faith in Illinois because I never trust Illinois.
Yeah, no, I think UConn should pretty much take care of the rest of this.
I like Iowa State. They're tough.
I believe it or not, I have a bit of a different Final Four. I do have UConn and Houston in the championship game, but I have UConn, Iowa State, Houston, and Kansas as my Final Four right now. But we'll see. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll see. I have Kansas losing to Houston.
They should have lost last night. They got bailed out by
a they got bailed out, dude.
That was trash. That was all ball, brother. And barely even got the ball. Just enough to get it out of his hands so he couldn't dunk it. And they call a foul.
Yeah. College is like, it's like swaying into the fouls if they miss the shots, kind of like the NBA, which I'm hoping it doesn't transition into NBA defense.
That's definitely happening in college, because USCB games, we noticed it big time that they would hold their whistle and blow the whistle if the shot didn't go a lot of times.
Yeah, I hate when refs do that.
I know. It was happening a lot, but my brackets, it's looking pretty bad because I had like Moorhead coming out, and I had just as
they got
I had a bunch of sweet, like I picked like 3 chaos pods, and none of them are the one that's a chaos pod. The one where like we're gonna end up with like Colorado against Oakland or something in the Sweet 16, which is gonna be wild.
I had Drake beating Washington State, and they lost by like 5. I was so
Drake won.
So mad.
Drake
they
won.
didn't. They lost to Washington State, bro.
Yeah.
Drake won, didn't they?
No,
they
did they lose? Man, I had them 5. Up the whole game.
Yeah, they lost by 5. Washington State 66, Drake 61.
Maybe I fell asleep with Drake winning that game and thought that they had already won it.
They had a lead, they had a lead when we were on the podcast last night, but they couldn't hold on.
Yeah, they did.
Man, that's too bad. I wanted that Drake Iowa State match.
12 seed up by 7 over Wisconsin in the nightcap session.
Yeah, I got that one.
Really?
That's my one Sweet 16 flyer that can still pan out for me.
Oh, yeah, dude. I picked JMU.
I had that one too.
Wisconsin. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, dude. JMU
I'm sure people are loving hearing about our brackets.
Too. Yeah.
People love to hear about other people's fantasy teams and brackets. So compelling. But there's not much else to talk about tonight.
Did you guys watch the USA game last night versus
I did. I watched a little bit of it. Yeah, against Jamaica, yeah. I watched a little bit.
There was a goal in the 90+6. It was an own goal to tie it for USA.
I saw that.
Goal.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yep. I mean, USA, they got scored on like the first 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah,
and we're just on offense the rest of the game.
That feels rigged. I'm just gonna say.
Then it went to extra time, and Haji Wright scored 2 goals. So, but they got the championship on Sunday, so that'll be fun.
I mean, while we're on the subject of, just random international sports stories, how about Shohei Ohtani? This is quite the story.
Oh yeah.
Shocker.
I do not know what to make of that.
Man.
I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced I was an interpreter. I think somebody's taking the fall. Because one person would be banned from baseball, and it'd be like, okay, let's hire another interpreter, and the other one would be banned from baseball, and it'd be like, oh, what now?
So
he was like $4 million in debt from like gambling or something like that.
But who's giving that guy that much credit? Who's giving that guy that much credit?
It's Shohei.
Unless they know it's for Shohei. I don't like it. I don't like the smell of it. And I'm a big Shohei. I've always been a big Shohei fan, so I'm kind of like devastated by it.
You know the worst part about all of this was this came out while he was in Korea.
I know.
For those two baseball games in Korea.
This is the craziest story, man. I don't know.
That's what you get for going to the Dodgers, Shohei. You should have came over to Toronto or something, man.
I've seen reports that he shied away from the Giants because he was fearful of the Yakuza presence in San Francisco. And I'm like, what? Like, are we seriously talking about the Yakuza in this story? Like, it's pretty wild. But anyway, that was a random aside. But Connor, always great to talk with you, man.
Yeah.
Sorry that you didn't get to see a little more competitive match tonight, but glad you got to look at the Sharks before the big derby on Tuesday. So
I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, and I definitely look forward to hearing your report on that. So thanks again, man, for hopping on with us, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Yeah, see you guys
then. Great weekend.
See you, you too. Bye.
See you, bro.
Connor Worrell on the Lowco Soccer Report, Lowco FC Mini. Doing a great job, and obviously not a whole lot to break down tonight from a competitive standpoint, but I love the analysis of May River versus Bluffton, and look forward to hearing his report on that and seeing his highlights. Hopefully they show out for him again when it's not raining. He got the great shot of the celly the other night. That was fun. But DDS Web Design is one of the varsity sponsors of LowcoSports. If you need to get found online and do so you can do more and think bigger, call on DDS Web Design. They build, host, and maintain websites for businesses and nonprofits to get results. And Parker Law Group is serving legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties. They've been doing that for years. Jumped on board with us this year to continue to help us continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Loco, which we'll be talking about some momentarily. Talk a little bit more about those Hampton County signings. Reverence Wrestling Club is the official wrestling sponsor of LowcoSports and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. If you want to take your skills on the mat to the next level, you got to get to Reverence Wrestling Club And Dr. Ambrose Cole is the official chiropractor of LowcoSports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Dr. Ambrose Cole. Those are our varsity sponsors, fellas. And so yeah, about the signings, we kind of covered the Buford football guys. Well, not that significantly. Lamb a little bit more than the others. DePass going to Lamb going to Georgia Military. DePass going to Limestone, where Jarrett is the coach. I also think of, I believe there was a Will Ferrell SNL sketch where he said Jericho Cotchery as George W. Bush, and I can't shake that from my head right now. And then Dom Camacho getting to play baseball at Ferrum College, so cool stuff there. And then Hampton, Kadeja Smoke, track and field at Allen, Zakila Henderson, track and field at Columbia College, Makai Davis, track and field at Marshall, Cody Seegers, football at Greensboro College. So chance to say more on that if you guys had wanted to earlier.
Yeah, I mean, great list of names that you rattled off over there. And I just wanted to give, while we're on the subject, Hampton County, we talked about Seegers, but shine a light in some of those track and field processes, because we've talked a lot about, the football team, the basketball team, but there's some really talented female athletes at Hampton County. The basketball team in a great year, and then they've had a bunch of track stars, from Wade Hampton, Hampton County as well. So it's been cool to see, a couple of young ladies really find their shine out there on track and in some field events too, which is really cool and certainly deserve much more attention for what they've been doing. So, that's just a great, well-run athletic program. We saw at Wade Hampton, we saw it over at Estill, and it's been everything they've been hoping for in combining to make this one school here. And then
who the track coaches are, right? The coach is Hannah. It's Coach Rob and Mariah. Those are the track coaches. Those two, they pour their heart and soul into those kids, man. It's an awesome thing. Speaking of Hampton, I teased earlier that we had some crazy scores that came in from last night. First of all, girls soccer, they smoked Edisto 12-0. Boys soccer, they beat Edisto 3-1. Edisto did win in baseball. But the one that was the most interesting was the softball game. Hampton County 26, Edisto 24.
Whoa! Safety deciding the ball game.
Edisto scored a touchdown in the top of the 7th to get within 2, but then Hampton closed the door.
Holy cow!
Hampton scored 9 in the top of the 6th. So I think you can see that some pitching got depleted, because Hampton scored 1, then 3, then 2, then 5, then 6, then 9. So yeah, it got a little out of hand. Edisto did make 14 errors, but I can't imagine how long that softball game took. But 26-24, that's a Donnybrook.
I'm glad I went to Battery Creek instead. I don't know if I could handle that game that long, man.
Yeah, but imagine,
you made a good choice on that.
So they were up 26-17 going to the 7th, and it got dicey. I've been there, man. That's a bad feeling. You're just like, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Tying runs up, winning runs up. Winning runs on base, winning runs in scoring position, winning runs on third. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I thought that was fun. And then I also teased an update on the strike 3 gate, the premature strike update.
Yeah.
So let me get the video back up here.
I like that name, Strike Gate.
Strike Gate.
Strike Gate.
Yeah. Let me see.
Everything's gotta have
where
gate.
It is. Where is it? Did I put it?
Oh.
I just gotta find where I put it. But yeah, it was, quite the ordeal, obviously. There it is. And there's been some hubbub about it, and people are talking on social media and what have you. So that was ball 1. No one disputes that. And then you had swinging. Oh wait, that's not the right one. Is that the right one?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, I didn't have it from the start, I don't think. Yeah, I didn't have it from the first pitch. All right, so first pitch, that's ball 1. Second pitch is strike one. Now, this is the pitch in question right here, because here's what I got. We all agree that looked like a strike. We all agreed that on first viewing, but the umpire didn't react, so we assumed it was called a ball. That is what the people keeping the Game Changer and the books also assumed, because they didn't see the umpire react. I am told on good authority that the umpire, someone who spoke with the umpire, who I trust, told me that he had a conversation with him, and he said, I called the 1-1 a strike. I said strike out loud. I repeated the count. Everybody knew the count. The James Island players have said the same, that they knew what the count was. Now, with that knowledge in mind, we'll continue to watch. So it's actually 1-2 here. Everybody in the ballpark thought it was 2-1, except the people who could hear the umpire. So now we're 2-2, even though we think it's 3-1. And then we get, it's close on the inside corner. It's probably a little in, but probably close enough. What I'm also told is that if we look back here, I'm told that we can see the field umpire signal the count, but I don't have that good of eyesight. I didn't see that. Yeah, I don't see that at all.
No.
But I'm also told that that the James Island dugout before the last pitch asked for the count, because the scoreboard showed 3-1 and they had 2-2. And that's what I was saying last night, is what we don't know, what we don't know, what we can't know, and probably no one would agree on, even if we talk to them, was the count verbalized? And the umpire says the count was verbalized multiple times, the correct count. And that the James Island dugout asked for the count, and he verbalized it then before the last pitch, so everybody knew what the count was. I would also suggest that it does appear initially that the batter, Cooper Deitch, thought it was strike three. He starts to walk away. But then I think when his dugout says, wait, wasn't that only strike two? Then he was like, wait, was that only strike two? So I honestly think that the most simple explanation that we thought of at the first, which was, well, that one kind of looked like a strike, but he didn't signal. That sounds like that's what happened.
Yeah.
So perhaps much ado about nothing. I still don't think it was probably handled properly in the aftermath.
No.
I don't think the proper conversations were had, and certainly the crowd got a little out of hand, and the umpire, I think, said, words were exchanged, which doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Lessons to be learned from it on, all around, but it does sound like the people who were directly involved in the play at least knew what the situation was, and there is and then the other thing that was puzzling that I have an explanation for is the catcher turning around and heading back. I'm told that was because he was turning around to say to the Bluffton player who was talking about it, but he starts hopping back. I don't know. I don't fully buy that. We're going to full Zapruder film on this now, boys. There was a third shooter on the grassy knoll.
Man, I don't know.
I don't either.
We don't know.
It was a debacle. It was a debacle, but is what it is. And I mean, to their credit, I've seen some of the Bluffton folks, saying like, look, it's whatever happened, but all we can do is go forward with the chip on our shoulder and try to make noise the rest of the way. I also thought it was interesting to note that James Island held back pitching. They did not throw their best guys in that game. They held back Marshawn and another guy for Somerville last night, and they beat Somerville last night. So that was an important game to them. They were willing to gamble against Bluffton
it's
to be able to beat Somerville. And it's a region rival next year. Don't think that didn't matter. Don't think that didn't matter.
No, it mattered. It mattered. It mattered a whole lot. Yeah. That's cool.
So interesting developments there. I figure as much as we've talked about it, the umpire catcher could have corrected. I mean, it was a weird
it's a
deal.
team effort. You're when you're officiating as a group, and it's your job, if you're not the lead official or the umpire or if you're the linesman.
Yeah, well, but what I'm hearing is that everybody but the scoreboard and the scorekeepers actually were on the same page, is what I'm hearing. That they asked for the count, the umpires conferred, they both said full count, and then they went.
Yeah,
I mean,
and what I'll say is, you know what, it's high school baseball. Officiating is not perfect at any level, but this level, they're doing a great job. I mean, these guys, these officials, referees, they have just a lot of passion for what they do, and they do the best job that they're capable of. And sometimes, they're human beings and they make mistakes, and that's just part of the way it goes in whatever sport you're talking about. Just unfortunate to see it, happen in a situation like this where it was right at the end of the game. But, these umpires, refs, most of them, they all do an amazing job. And, I have respect for what they do, because it's not easy to officiate any sport. And they do a heck of a job at this level to get most of the calls correct. And, sometimes you see like situations arise, but they're human at the end of the day, and most of them at this level have other jobs on the side. I mean, some of them are dedicate themselves a lot, which is great. But
almost all of them have other jobs on the side. It's not a full-time
it's a part-time gig.
Yeah. I mean, if you get to doing it at the college level and stuff, you can be traveling around regionally and working games about every day. And
at the high school level,
high school guys, not so much. It's just a little walking around money, something to do in the evenings, we've never mentioned the name of the official who was involved, because it's not about that. We weren't trying to dog him anyway. We were just trying to figure out what happened, because people were saying controversy. So we wanted to figure out what happened and piece it together. But he's one of, anybody who is in the baseball circles already knows who it was, and already traded texts with 17 people who were there to get the scoop. And, it's like, and again, is one of those people who was talking to him last night and got the story and relayed it on. So, and he's one of the better ones in the area, hands down. Like he's a good one. It got hot after the game. People said things they shouldn't have said. That's what people do sometimes. When it gets hot. And, hopefully they cooler heads prevail, and they make amends, and we go on and stay focused on the kids and what matters. But I think we can put it to bed now. We got an explanation of that I'm satisfied with. It's still not going to say like it was all handled perfectly. Great job, everyone, by any means. But I'm satisfied to put it to bed now and say I think it was strike three. Like I think everybody who needed to know knew it was strike three. And if they're saying otherwise, they're probably kind of in denial. But that's the read I'm getting on it anyway. But hey, let's shout out a few more sponsors, and then we'll start wrapping this thing up. We don't got to go the full hour tonight if we don't have enough to talk about, boys. It'll be up to you.
Yeah.
But the Lowco Booster Club, it's been a long week, man. I'm worn down. Lowco Booster Club, we got Court Lifestyle Pros. Daniel and Debbie Court are Hilton Head natives who are Lowco natives who want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. They're with Charter One Realty and Revive Rehab, women's health and pelvic floor physical therapy. Dr. Allie and Dr. Jan are the best in the area when it comes to postpartum issues. So if you just had a baby, go see the docs at Revive Rehab. Eagle Creations, promotional items and custom apparel, as well as custom gift baskets. They can do all kinds of things for you over there. Just go over to their showroom on Argent Boulevard, say hi to Mandy, and see what all they can do for you at Eagle Creations. Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. You can get some great conversation in there, and also coming out looking stylish at Jay's Barbershop. And Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom will get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. Thanks to all of our Lowco Booster Club members for supporting our coverage, our grassroots coverage of local sports here in the South Carolina Lowcountry. Gentlemen, anything else that we need to talk about tonight? We covered everything on my agenda. Anything else before we do shout outs and all that?
Well, we were supposed to have some USCB baseball today. Obviously, that got moved.
Yeah,
then it got moved again to Sunday. So there's a doubleheader on Sunday and then a game on Monday. Yes.
Okay.
I told you there was going to be a Monday finish.
Yeah, Bracken texted me earlier saying
you were correct on that one.
Again. Yeah, so it has been moved again. So there's a doubleheader on Sunday and then a game on Monday. So
do you have a time for that? I haven't gotten
those USCB. Yeah. Just to let those USCB fans know out there that we did have to move some games due to the weather we have going on down here in the Lowcountry. So they're playing Augusta. I think it could be a real good series for USCB. Get them back on the right track. Try to get some wins again under their belts after what's been really a rough couple weeks. So we should see what happens next.
I'm trying to see what the latest update is on times. Doubleheader Sunday at 3 and 5. Single game on Monday. Oh, that's softball.
Baseball, I believe, is 2 and 5 on Sunday.
2 and 5 on Sunday.
To that, and what a great opportunity for a St. Shark team that obviously they've been right on the cusp. I think really, when you look at the squad, they've had a couple of like strong leads in games against good teams and just haven't been able to see them out. And whether it's the pitching or just some lapses defensively at times, they just haven't been able to put all 9 innings together on the mound. And you got to find a way to piece it, start with your starter, and then into the bullpen. They've got a good couple of arms. We saw that on display in that Georgia Southwestern, so it's not like they can't do it. It's just, can they find more of that consistency? And, I mean, we saw in that series against the Hurricanes when they got 2 out of 3 and they got the sweep on the doubleheader. So nothing's out of the question for this team. It's just, can they find a way to really, string it all together? And thanks so much for Bracken Lambert for all the amazing stuff he does. And not only that, but just allowing myself and Max to be on the call for these games, because Max, I'm sure you've been loving this opportunity. You had that first softball game, which is absolute crazy walk-off ending. And I'm excited because we've done a lot of softball games. We haven't done as many baseball games, so I'm pumped to. I'm sure you'll be out there. So first pitch on Sunday, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
Yep,
and then
2 and 5. And then Monday at 1. Monday at 1.
Yeah.
Those games.
5 is optimistic. Yes. Very optimistic.
So, it should be. We may have to adjust the start time of the St. Shark Rewind depending on how late those games go. So
true story. True story.
Yeah.
Or delay it till Monday night.
Monday, yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We always do. And then softball. Are they still
They're in Augusta.
Yeah, softball's Augusta.
I'm on the baseball.
What's the schedule for those? Let me see if I can.
It had also gotten bumped.
3 and 5 on Sunday, I think, for softball.
Yeah, they're now 3 and 5 on Sunday.
And then they have a game on Monday as well.
And
the same schedule as the baseball game.
Yeah, basically.
The weather has played a part once again. It's been touch and go all spring, which normally is this time of year.
Oh yeah, they've now gone
to
Sunday, Monday as well. They're up to Monday finish as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Then baseball. They got Lander at home just a few days later. So the Guts series finished on the 25th. Then they go the next day to Francis Marion for a midweek game. We'll see how that. If they still decide, they probably will, but certainly that's tough to play that kind of stretch. Then Friday. You got yourself started a 3-game series against Landon. So we'll see how that happens. This series was originally supposed to go Friday, Saturday, and now it's Sunday, Monday. So
yeah, I'm sure they'll still play it just to get guys work. That's why you schedule midweek games anyway, so everybody gets there.
Yep, that means all hands on deck in that midweek game as we normally expect.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Johnny Holstaff, whoever didn't throw this weekend, you're up.
Yeah.
Everybody's going. We'll let you go till you can't go no more. That's about how it goes on those days.
Yeah, dude. That next weekend's gonna be crazy in Hardyville because we got both baseball and softball there.
Yeah, we got the double going on.
Double.
Yeah,
it's gonna be enjoyable.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm excited for that.
Oh, that's also the Marvin Klein Invitational Wheel Braves. That's a good event.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Fun weekend. I'm already counting the days until that Donnybrook on the softball field, Maverick Carlton County on the 28th. And then unfortunately the girls soccer game would have been a good one too. Maybe was really excited for that. Hopefully they find an open date to reschedule that one later in the year. But even if they don't, we still got another good one on Monday because Hilton Head Prep will be hosting JP2 in the afternoon delights from the Sea Pines field, I guess you could call it.
I don't know what that field's called.
Yeah, but that was
Dolphin Field, I think.
I'm excited because that JP2 girls soccer team is legit, and I hope that Prep's gonna have to work if they want to come out on top in that game. So I'm pumped to see that one at 4. So that's, and then the boys will follow at 6 coming up on Monday. So and then after that we got Hilton Head Bluffton baseball. So I mean, I cannot wait for Monday night because we got a great soccer game followed by the start of that Bluffton Hilton Head baseball series. So I'm already counting down the days until Monday.
Must win for the Bobcats. You got to get it back on track.
Yeah,
they're kind of struggling. I mean, they're not struggling. Like they're 0-4, but they've played 2 pretty close games with May River and 2 pretty close games with James Island, which are both undefeated. But like, it's just like they need to get something positive. I think they need to win that first one. They need to, which they'll have a good chance because Miles Fry is really freaking good. I can't believe
that's a huge series for Hilton Head because they're sitting at 1-3, and Bluffton they still winless at 0-4.
They're 0-4. Yeah, it's huge series.
So that's a huge series.
Huge.
Whichever team gets a sweep could probably end up making the playoffs. I think if with either of those teams get the sweep, they're probably in. Just how that region's looking. We'll see.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
Yeah. No sleep till Will Korn. No sleep till Will Korn.
Yeah. No sleep. That's his walk-up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the fans, they'll say, no sleep till Will Korn.
Till Will Korn. Will Korn. I love it. But that's about it tonight, boys. Not a whole lot going on. Tomorrow there's a little bit.
Weather permitting.
I got fooled for a second. So I misread it earlier. I thought Bishop England Hilton Head Boys Lacrosse was today, but it's tomorrow at 2:30. So Saturday 2:30. It's at Hilton Head. It was supposed to be at Bishop England, but they
actually
have
that
grass
could be a double header, girls and boys, because the girls play Academic Magnet.
I believe it is. So ACMAG and then Bishop
we got
England,
a nice.
And I think they're playing in the stadium.
Basketball style doubleheader.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah.
Also got the Coaches Classic qualifier meet, track and field meet at Whale Branch, which is a pretty cool event. If I can free myself up, I may slip out there. I love to. I see high level track and field. That's fun. Got some golf teams in the Blue Jacket Invitational up at Diamondback, assuming they get that in. And looks like USCB was running the Georgia Southern relays as well. Then we'll have those baseball and softball series with USCB starting up on Sunday, presumably. And the Jim Faree Junior Invitational at Long Cove this weekend. So that's pretty cool. Love me some Jim Faree. So, a few things going down this weekend.
And then Sunday we'll be over at the Shark Park, and
that's right.
Two baseball games here, 2 softball games there at Augusta. You mentioned the Blue Jack and the Jim Faree, and then we'll be back on potentially Sunday, depending on how we schedule.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
We will for sure be back on Monday night to recap it all on the Lowdown.
Yeah, we'll be back Monday for the Lowdown, and we'll keep it rolling through the week. So let's get some rest, boys. Hopefully our brackets rebound over the weekend, and we have something to look forward to next week.
No.
I mean, all you need is a bunch of chaos now to knock out.
I'm feeling good with my UConn championship pick right now, but knock on wood, because they could. Now that I say that, they're going to go down to Northwestern in the second round. So
nobody would be.
No way.
I mean, I've watched enough NCAA tournaments. Nothing surprises me anymore in this event.
Expect the unexpected. That's what they say.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest. Yep. But thanks so much to Connor Worrell for another great soccer report. Thanks to all of our sponsors who make all this possible. And thanks, of course, to all of you for showing up to listen or watch. That's going to do it for the Friday night edition of the Lowdown and for this week's run of the show. So we'll see you possibly Sunday night. We'll sort out the situation with the Sand Track Rewind. We might just have to bump it later, and we'll get that in for you. And then we'll see you Monday night for the Lowdown. For Mad Max Arraj and Worldwide Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. That's it for tonight. Till next time, go Lowco.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.